Hey, it's Pete Jong here with RE/MAX Professionals. I want to give you a bit of a review as to what happened in terms of real estate in Calgary in 2020. And I'm going to look into my crystal ball a little bit and let you know what I think might happen in 2021. Stand by. For 20 years, I've been dedicating my best efforts to helping my clients get the most for their homes in the shortest amount of time. In 20 years, I've learned a lot and I'm learning more. Get ready to share with me. Welcome to the Pete Jong Show. Well, let's start with some good news. In 2020, Calgary actually had a price increase over 2019. And I know, shocking, but here it is. It's 0.03% was our price increase. So our average price in Calgary literally went from $458,600 to $458,742. So we went up an average of $142 in 2020. I think 2021 might get us a bit more of a price increase, but time will tell. But here's what happened. In terms of detached homes in Calgary, our average price went up about 2.8%, and that's really what drove the average price increase up at all. Because when you look at detached homes, or semi-attached homes, or if you look at townhouses, they're basically flat from last year. And of course, condos continue the trend that they've been experiencing over the last 4 or 5 years, whatever, and their average sale price actually declined another 2%, 2.1% to be exact on that. In terms of sales in December, our sales actually skyrocketed. We went up about 40% over December of last year, which was fantastic. It does mean that our whole year ended up just slightly below last year's total sales for the year, and which of course isn't good. I mean, any progress would be good, and we almost hit the sales of last year. But the reality is 2018 and 2019 and now 2020 are significantly lower than any other year we've had in Calgary Real Estate Board history. So those 3 years are the 3 worst years in Calgary Real Estate Board history now. And they're all very, very similar in terms of total unit sales. But like I said, sales were up about 40%. Inventory is down 20% from last year, December. And so what that means is we're going to see some price increases probably in the first quarter of this year. So if you're thinking of selling, it's probably not a bad time. It's going to be a seller's market as long as inventory stays this low. I've been trying to get this number from the Calgary Real Estate Board and I've been unsuccessful so far, but I believe we're going into 2021 with the lowest inventory in probably at least 5 or 6 years. So a low inventory and increases in sales means that, like I said, there's going to be some upward pressure on pricing. So where are these sales coming from? It looks like the sales are coming from first-time buyers, and that's because interest rates have just been so low for so long, and these buyers are sort of been holding off, kind of going, I want to make sure I'm going to be able to keep my job. I want to make sure that my financial situation is stable enough that I can go ahead and invest in real estate. And after, a number of years of really bad economy in Calgary, they're going, I've survived so far, I think I'm okay, and they're buying their first home. And of course, that means that people in the first-time home buyer market, the $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $300,000, $400,000, probably more than $500,000, but those people now have the opportunity to move up, and we're seeing a bit of that move-up market happening as well. So in terms of, like I said, what's going to happen in 2021, it's Calgary. I mean, we're dependent on what happens in oil and gas. We're dependent on what happens in the Middle East. We're dependent on all these things. Interest rates look like they're probably going to hold for probably about 18 months or so. Time will tell. But it looks like, at least for the first quarter, we're probably going to experience a seller's market. We might see some price increases. RE/MAX is predicting a 3% increase in sales prices for Calgary over 2021. But like I said, time will tell. Those of us that have been in real estate in Calgary for a while, I've been doing this just over 20 years, we really don't know. I mean, we have gut feelings, and I always say the best time to buy a house is 20 years ago. So in 20 years from now, you're going to say the best time to buy a house was now. And but I would always say too, if you're looking at buying or you're looking at selling, get a hold of an experienced real estate agent and have a talk with them about what your plans are. Have them come by, have them have a look at your house and tell you what honestly he thinks he can get for it in the market, how he's going to market the house, and how he can get more for it than an inexperienced realtor would, or someone that doesn't do the things that he does. An example of that is I have a stager that I use and I pay her. So I want her to go in and give you the best advice in terms of what pictures to move where, how to set up your furniture to make it very welcoming for buyers. If there's any painting that has to be done or something like that, she'll give you the good advice, and it's up to you as to what you want to do with it. But that usually does add some real value to your sale price. So give me a shout. Every market is a little bit different. If you're in a bungalow or a two-story, if you're living in Bridlewood or Tuscany or Saddle Ridge, I mean, all these markets are a little bit different, and we want to nail down your price exactly right for the buyers. And I do that with you, by the way, so it's always very transparent. You see exactly how we're arriving at the price together. And just out of interest, I just thought I'd point out some other things that happened in 2020. I thought I'd point out that the highest sale prices in Canada, this might not be a huge surprise, but my next stat might be, the highest sale price was in Vancouver, BC, where they had a price increase, by the way, of 11.5% over last year. But what's interesting is Vancouver North only went up 0.2%. So Vancouver went up 11.5%, Vancouver North went up 0.2%, and Vancouver West, or West Vancouver, was actually one of the only communities in Canada that actually declined. It was only a decline of 1%. But interesting how within that small area, these kind of things happened. Just to put that in perspective, West Vancouver went down 1%. Calgary was actually up, like I said, 0.03%, 142 bucks. Some of the best increases across, or at least in sale prices across Canada, were in Ottawa. They went up almost 20%, which is pretty massive. But the two biggest ones were both in the cottage country of Ontario, Collingwood and Muskoka. And I can't help but to wonder if that's because if I'm going to be working from home anyways, why don't I buy a nice cottage on a lake and work there? That's the only thing that makes sense to me in terms of why they would have rocketed up 19.5% and 20.3% to live in cottage country. Don't we all wish we bought there, I don't know, 30 years ago, 20 years ago? Always the best time to buy real estate is 20 years ago. Anyways, give me a call. My number's at the end of this video. That's my cell phone, so you can call me there or text me, whatever you prefer. And certainly be happy to give you any free advice in terms of what I think your place might be worth now, and start to develop a plan. It's not too early. If you plan on moving even in the summer, maybe even in the fall, there's some things that we can set up now so that by the time we get there, you're going to get more for your house, and you'll know by then, by the information that I'll be feeding you during that time, what good value is in the neighborhood that you're looking at. So as an example, if you're going to say, Pete, I want to go move to Lake Bonavista, great. I'm going to start sending you homes in your price range in Lake Bonavista so that if in 5 or 6 months you can move there, you're ready to pull the trigger on it, by that time you'll know what a good value looks like because you've been sort of watching that market for a while. Anyways, like I said, anytime, give me a shout, 403-818-7310, and look forward to chatting. Take care. Hey, thanks for watching. If you'd like to subscribe, click here. If you have any other questions or would like some more information from me, comment down below or text me at the number at the end of this video.